Today was the 13th, and disclaimer, these are just my interpretations on the price. I'm a developing student, and I will continue to study these markets, be a student to these markets, and then big shout out to ICT. So let's get right into it, and I'm just going to do these in slideshow format, but right now this is that PPI news release, and this is the 5-minute chart. So as we see right here, this is classic market maker buy model, and although PPI was the second stage of redistribution in this market maker buy model or reaccumulation in the market maker buy model, it still was algorithmic. Like as we can see, like order flow is still going to follow within like news releases like this, and it's gonna just be that thing that drives us up to take buy side. Like news releases are just gonna push us to the already existing draw on liquidity. And what is that draw on liquidity, and why is it that draw on liquidity? The draw on liquidity is this high right here because we have sold off into this 15-minute PD array. This is a 15-minute fair value gap confirmed with the SMT with that smart money reversal. Then price changes its state of delivery. We now have market structure on our side. We have this intermediate term low, short term low here, and then we have another intermediate term low here. So this now becomes bullish market structure. We come back down, and then PPI expands us to the already existing draw on liquidity, and we have low resistance liquidity signatures right there. So that's was the PPI news release. I wasn't really interested in engaging in this, but as we see, it's still delivered as you can kind of expect it. However, the 930, the 950 macro I thought was very clean, and I liked it. So I liked it. That's crazy. But basically, right at 9:30 open, what am I looking for? I'm looking at where's the low resistance liquidity when the market opens. A lot of the times we'll get a Judah swing higher to rebalance to maybe an inefficiency, and then we'll end up pushing lower to all of these failure swings, which is I want to point this out before I drop down to the 1-minute chart. And this is what I was looking at. I was like, hey, buy side liquidity is purged here. We already have a run on stops here. Price doesn't need to go higher. We've had a meaningful purge on highs. This is all-time highs. We are more likely to go and attack now these failure swings that we've have in place in the market. And we also had a nice 15-minute imbalance below us that I want to see rebalance, and that's what we end up rebalancing later on. And here is the silver bullet setup, that 10 a.m. window, that 950 macro window. This is kind of what I look to engage in my bread and butter setup. This is kind of my approach to trading. This is kind of what I found to be the most consistent. So right here, market trades up, 9:30 open right here. And this is important. We push away from all these failure swings, and we push away from low resistance liquidity to rebalance this imbalance right here. I believe we have SMT with ES right here with this high and this high. And then Dow was like all over the place. I wasn't really looking at Dow today. I was mainly looking at ES, typical Dow things. So we end up having SMT here. And then we rebalance this imbalance, which we know that if we rebalance an imbalance, that should be an intermediate term high. And I don't really like that interpretation on it. I just classify it an intermediate term high is the short term to the right and the short term high to the left. And that's what this is. We end up having that short term high here. And then we displace lower at a key time of the day. I believe right here, this candle is 950. Or around here is 950. 950, then we have displacement lower. And then we come back lower. We create this imbalance right here. And I was looking at this, and I thought that we were going to... This is the silver bullet. Then we come back up, form SMT, stop out some traders again that have their stop right here. We come back in that order block, last line of defense, and then we end up getting that move. Notice how we have stop hunt before the meaningful move in price. We will likely not have a meaningful move in price until we have that stop hunt. I was actually calling this out in the Discord, and I don't claim to be like that. I don't claim to like, oh, I called out this move, but I was in the Discord and I was looking at this. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like doing that to where like I was like, oh, this is what I'm looking at, but I also don't like that because it's just trying to feed my ego, you know. But basically, 950 macro ended up playing out very nicely. And then right here, I was looking at this, and I'm not really looking to long this. I mean, I know that there is a possible long here, like maybe within this fair value gap, but I'm not really looking at that because I know the overall bias is bearish. If you zoom out to the 15-minute time frame, which I really like to see, is that 15-minute change in state of delivery. Whenever we have that I'm not gonna pull it up right now, but whenever we have a 15-minute change in state of delivery after the first 30 minutes, then that's when we really get that big move in price. So right here we end up coming back up into this area of price. This is that new day opening gap I had marked out, and I was looking at new day opening gap because I really thought that since we're in all-time highs, especially, I'm not expecting too much expansion. I know that this new day opening gap will likely get referred to, and that's pretty much what happened. We end up coming up in a new day opening gap, 5-minute imbalance, and 15-minute imbalance as well. Then we end up having change of state delivery here on the 1 minute, and then volume imbalance gets traded to, low resistance liquidity, and then that gets traded to. And then PM session, silver bullet, we end up having SMT here way off in the distance. And then we pretty much put a failure swing in, bullish order flow. And then we have an SMT at a certain time of the day. We have SMT at 2 p.m. And then we get displacement up to buy side here. I'm not really looking to engage in this, but for silver bullet purposes, we have SMT right here, displacement, fair value gap, boom. As you can see, it's a little bit slow with the delivery, but we end up pretty much marking time and moving to that liquidity right there. And yeah, that's all I really have for today. Just kind of short and sweet, kind of like 6 minutes. The grind is real. Isn't like 1 a.m. your time? It's like 12. It's like 12. Nice. All right, that's all I really have. I'll be back tomorrow with another one of these, and yeah.